Mirai Saratobi's unknown past comes back to haunt her in a spine-tingling episode of Boruto, Naruto Next Generations. It looks like this whole big vacation arc is about to get bloody and messed up, because this episode reintroduces the Joshin religion. If that's unknown to you, you might be reminded that this is what Hidan of the Akatsuki actually used to practice. He was an immortal who had the ability to torture people like a living voodoo doll, and basically his entire creed and code was simply just to murder everyone in his path. And it looks like that's what's going to be going down in the current episode of Boruto, as Mirai and Tatsumi make their way to this mysterious hot spring where they're supposedly going to be able to communicate with dead family members. When they actually do arrive, they're conveniently brought there by a girl, and then they arrive and they see all of these women who are desperately ready to see all of their fallen family members and friends. What they don't actually realize is this is actually the secret meeting location of these Joshin cultists, and they're led by this man who goes by the name of Ryuki. And when you see this character for the first time, he's immediately going to look familiar. He looks a lot like Hidan. He has a slightly different hairstyle, but he has the same hair color, he has the same eyes, and the very same scary smile. And he seems to also be obsessed with everything that is Joshin, and it seems like this entire plan of luring people into this hot spring to see their dead family members is actually just an excuse to bring in some brand new sacrifices. In fact, if you look at the preview for the next episode, you can see that this basically is the next generation Hidan. He even seems to have his very own three-bladed scythe, and it's also implied that some of these characters are going to go through the whole Joshin transformation, where they have the whole voodoo doll sort of exposure all over their body, making them look like living, walking skeletons. Before this episode, I honestly thought that this was going to be more of a lighthearted arc of following Mirai. She gets to learn a little bit more about her father from all of the people who've experienced time with him. But at the very beginning of this arc, there was that one crucial scene where she realizes where she is. She is in the land, which is the home of the killer of her father. And it's all going to be coming back to bite her in this episode right here, as we get to dive headfirst into the Joshin religion, which immediately is kind of interesting because Hidan was the only character who ever brought up this weird, freaky cultist religion, and we really got to see a lot of his power during that arc, but now we get to see a bunch of followers who could potentially have the very same abilities. It's very obvious that this Ryuki character is trying to live up to the greatest ideals of Joshin by killing as many people as possible and doing it under the guise of helping these young women actually communicate with their dead family and friends. And in that sense, it's incredibly disturbing. But I really love the build up to that big reveal at the very end of this episode, especially at first. You knew that something's not quite right. Like, I'm kind of curious as to why he's bringing all these women in here. There are no males who are actually going to see their dead relatives or friends. It's all females. I'm not sure if this is some sort of weird next generation plan of Joshin, but immediately when Ryuki is actually introduced, you know there's something not quite right about this guy. I mean, he looks completely strung out and really freaky, and I mean, the weird creepy haircut and the red blood eyes should be the first giveaway that this guy is probably not a very nice fella. But I do love the fact that they're reintroducing the concept of Joshin, which, like I said, is something they never really built upon too much in the original series, aside from the character of Hidan. I'm curious, too, because after looking at the preview for the next episode, he does have that three-bladed scythe. I wonder if that actually is Hidan's, or if he just simply made his very own, if he's trying to be sort of like the next generation version of that character. I really can't wait to see how that's going down, and most importantly, I wonder if these characters really are communicating with their dead family members, or if this is some sort of weird, like, genjutsu that's actually going on. Another thing that's interesting to note is that when Mirai actually reveals her name to Ryuki, he has this weird expression as if he knows her, as if he's heard that name before. He's very familiar, actually, with who she is. He's probably under the impression that, yes, this is the daughter of the man that Hidan killed, and now he can fully live up to his ideals by taking her out as well. The episode does end with Mirai potentially being able to see her father Asuma, although I have a feeling he's not really going to be there and that this is all sort of a plan of these Joshin cultists. All I know is, don't drink the frickin' Kool-Aid, man. So, what's the rundown on this episode of Boruto Naruto Next Generations? Easily the most interesting episode of this entire arc so far. That's not to say say that the previous episodes weren't interesting. They were incredibly fun, and I loved the return of those classic characters, and I got a lot of laughs. But here, things are starting to intensify, and they're bringing back a concept of the series which they barely used in the first half. And that alone is what's really got me interested here. It's amazing how everything in this arc has completely encompassed Mirai's father, Asuma, and how she's getting to learn every single aspect about him. The friends he made, the adventures he went on, the people he trained, and now even the people that killed him. It's really coming full circle for her, and I can't wait for the next episode, which looks like it's going to be action-packed as she's battling against a group of Joshin cultists, and I can't wait to see them activate their weird, crazy technique where they have like the voodoo doll-like form go all over their body. That was one of the most visually striking things about Hidan, was that big transformation that he went through, so I can't wait to see what the other characters are going to do as they actually go through this. Again, it begs the question, though, is Ryuki actually going to try and sacrifice all these people, or if he's actually going to try and make them a part of the Joshin religion? I only ask that because you can see in the preview that Tatsumi seems to have, like, that voodoo form all over her body, as if she herself has become a part of the Joshin religion. Maybe she's actually been evil this whole time. It's kind of hard to freaking tell. It's very strange. There's a lot of twists and turns, and this episode just completely surprised me with everything that it's actually delivering. I wonder if Kakashi and Guy are aware of what's going on. Maybe they're going to show up and help save the day. Maybe this is an opportunity for Mirai to be the hero of her very own arc. I frankly just cannot wait to see it, and I have a feeling there is going to be some form of poetic justice for the character of Ryuki. All I know is I'm pumped. I can't wait to see what's next, and you guys definitely need to check out this episode. So I'm going to give this one a 5 out of 5. I think it was one of the more surprising episodes of the series. It was surprisingly atmospheric and really heartfelt, especially with the character of Mirai, who is still struggling with what she's actually going to say to her father if she has the chance to see him. And you can tell that she's just so happy in order to actually make this happen. Really, this was a solid addition to the series, which you guys definitely need to check out. If any of you did watch the episode, tell me what you thought about it in the comment section below, and what you hope to see from the rest of the Boruto Naruto Next Generation series. Do you think Mirai is actually going to communicate with her father? Is Ryuki the next generation Hidan? What's his plan? Is he simply going to recruit these women, or is he going to kill them all in a giant bloody ritual? What do you want to see from the rest of the Mirai arc? Let's get it going in a discussion, guys. Thank you all for watching this review. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for more anime reviews, topic videos, reactions, and all that cool stuff. I actually just did a big video about the brand new Generation 8 Pokemon. You can find links to that video in the description box below. I'd really love if you guys checked it out. And of course, one of the best ways to help support this channel, aside from watching my videos, is to check out my Patreon and PayPal account. You can find links for all that stuff in the description box below. A little bit goes a long way. So thank you all for watching. I'll see you all next time. And as always, stay down, baby.